If I could think of one movie in my life where I watched it so many times during the golden summer sunsets of the 90s with my best friend, this would be it. From strobe lights to techno music, sorcerers, mystical beings, elder gods, a tournament, martial arts, and ninjas, what more could any kid ask for? Because as the cover says, nothing in this world has prepared me for this. Mortal Kombat was released in 1995, and it was no stranger to me and my best friend who grew up playing the games on Sega Genesis, while also really kicking each other's asses till at least one of us would bleed. I could say so many great things about this movie and how I became a fan, but it's so hard to capture every single moment that defined my youth, but I'll try my best. The movie is about three chosen warriors from Earth, otherwise known as Earthrealm, as they partake in a sacred tournament called Mortal Kombat, to not only defend their world from being invaded by Outworld, but to find purpose within themselves. For example, our main hero Liu Kang, who's a Shaolin monk, must deal with not feeling the guilt of being responsible for his brother's death. Johnny Cage, who's a movie star, must overcome his failures of declined ratings and bad publicity while finding confidence. And Sonya Blade, who's part of the Special Forces military, must learn to not rely or be dependent on others as her weakness to be alone is her downfall. They are all aided by their mentor or God of Thunder Raiden, whom practically triggers everyone and cracks jokes. Unfortunately, he's not allowed to get involved but merely guide them to victory. The tournament is held on Shangtsung's island, hosted by Shangtsung himself, as he tries to not only manipulate our three warriors, but sabotage their progress on advancing in the tournament by cheating against the rules and pulling sneaky or scheming tactics. And I will say the actor who plays Shangtsung is by far the best. All his facial expressions are intimidating. The movie offers a lot of action and so many well choreographed fight scenes, as whenever I watch it, they perform it so well that it almost feels like I'm the one getting my ass kicked. Every stunt double or ninja or even the actors themselves are either famous professional martial artists or practiced like hell, because every hit is convincing. It's so fast paced even within the storyline that the tournament fights are basically held back to back as there's no chance to breathe. And half the time, I can't even keep track of the tournament because I don't know who's keeping score, as some fights are seen off screen or not in an actual arena. However, aside from the group fight, Sonya Blade only has one match, and that's with Kano. Johnny Cage has two fights, and that's with Goro and Scorpion, which is a fantastic beatdown. And then Liu Kang has the most fights, as you see him take on Hakim the Machine Alston, Kitana, Subzero, Reptile, and of course, Shangtsung. My favorite fight, of course, is the one with Reptile, because not only is he my favorite Mortal Kombat ninja, but when I saw him come from the statue and the narrator says, "Reptile," I lost my shit. That fight scene is so intense with its background music that it's hard to not get up and reenact the same sequence. By the time you get towards the end of the film, Liu Kang is destined to be the chosen one to protect Earthrealm from Shang Tsung's tyranny. And again, that fight scene is so amazing. You can't get any more iconic than hearing the famous Mortal Kombat scream that just adds an adrenaline rush while holding on to the edge of your seat. Now, this is where my favorite scene of the film comes. Don't get me wrong, the whole movie is fantastic, but this is forever the embodiment of the 90s. After Shang Tsung gets defeated and Liu Kang interacts with his brother Chan's spirit, it is not only wholesome with a little emotion and warmth, but when they start playing Orbital's Halcyon On and On track in the background, I can't help but to get emotional because he not only tells his brother they'll be reunited one day, but Liu Kang then turns around looking over to his allies and says, "Let's go home." I can't emphasize enough how powerful this scene is. The world has been saved, a beautiful song is playing in the background, and you're about to leave the movie theater knowing that life was peaceful and hopeful for years to come. Every time I hear the song, I can't help but to remember how simple life was. How little we had it, but more than enough to feel the magic and nostalgia that this film has ever lasted for generations to come, as the greatest Mortal Kombat film to date. Until that is, the victory is celebrated short when dark clouds appear in the sky and a terrorizing voice with thunder and lightning tears a chill down your spine. With none other than Outworld's Emperor Shao Kahn telling us that he's come for their souls, and then the God of Thunder says, "I don't think so." And once again, the iconic Mortal Kombat scream hits you in the gut with a jolt, knowing that we'll get a sequel someday. I honestly don't know what to really tell you. I love this movie so much. The costumes are so simple yet memorable, especially for the ninjas. Each Scorpion, Subzero, and Reptile have uniquely designed masks with respective colors to remind you of the three ninjas filmed prior of yellow, blue, and green. The cinematography is just awesome for 1995, and despite using a little CGI, it didn't take away from the film but allowed us to appreciate how far technology has come. And not to mention Goro, who's depicted as this big four-armed beast, is actually an animatronic and not CGI, like how movies would utilize it today. The effort shows in all forms in how well crafted this film is, from the backdrops to the lightning to the fine details of different realms and its signature style. You can tell the people were Mortal Kombat fans and paid attention to the source material. Like I said in the beginning, I can talk a lot about this film and talk about its soundtrack, because there's one scene where Liu Kang is meditating in the sunset and it's so therapeutic. However, this review doesn't even do justice to how awesome this movie is. But all I can say right now is that I remember renting this film numerous times from Blockbuster. Imagine it's almost sunset and it's summertime. You walk into Blockbuster and see the VHS and immediately know your weekend is going to be badass. I vividly remember being at my best friend's house in the summer, sleeping over and watching this movie and getting excited from start to finish. And when it was over, it left an empty void in ourselves that we either decided to watch the movie again, go outside and fight each other, play the video games, or draw our own Mortal Kombat comics to keep the spark alive and continue the hype and story. I hope one day my kids will understand how important this film is, because this defined my childhood, and sometimes I just wish I can go back and relive these memories. Let me know in the comments below what you think about Mortal Kombat, and I'll talk to you all next episode.